G'day everyone, it's Bo from Growthwise. This week we've been working on a tool that allows us to connect our web browser to a local AI model, and then that local AI model can make decisions about what it will actually do inside the web browser. I'll try and keep this video pretty brief and demonstrate some things at the start, and then towards the end I'll actually do some more explanations about how it actually works. So for the first example, we're going to be using a steps file. The idea of having a steps file is so that we can make the workflows repeatable. At the moment, you can see the steps that we have: open the profit and loss report, open the export menu, click on PDF. Quite simple. If we click on enter now that we're logged into Xero, we should start to see the AI model actually interact with the browser and try and achieve that task. Sometimes it works fine, other times you'll get some weird glitching and stuff happening, but let's see what happens. So at the moment, we have gone to the profit and loss page, that's good. And then what we're actually doing now should be clicking on the export button. And then hopefully the next step will be to click on PDF. Now, the reason why there's a little bit of a lag between the steps is that the AI model has to interpret what it needs to do, then send it back to the browser. But you can see now that all went through fine. There was a bit of a weird glitch with actually clicking on a date field at one point, but we've achieved the task. So for the next example, let's take a look at something where we're not using a steps file. Let's just say, show me all contacts. And we should see again the web browser interacting with the LLM. So we've clicked contacts, that's a good start. And what it should be trying to do now is determine what is the next step. So we've asked for all contacts. It's trying to look for, does that exist in the browser? So down the bottom here on the right, we can actually see how it's trying to interpret that next step. So you can see it did take a little bit of time, but now we've got there in the end, and now we're on the all contacts page. So now that I've been able to show both of the examples, let's talk a little bit about how they work. Now that we've seen those two demonstrations, let's briefly talk about how we have it working. So in the website again, if I right click and go to inspect, we can see all of the HTML behind the website. If I pick a particular button, say for example sales, right click on it and go to inspect, we can now see, if I go to edit HTML, here's all of the HTML that is actually behind that sales button. So it's quite a bit of information. If you're used to using RPA workflows, you would be very familiar with how to target buttons and things like that. But what we've done instead, if we click on this and then we go to experiments and then say enable full accessibility tree view, we've then got to close out of everything. I'm going to right click on that sales button again and hit inspect. And you'll notice now we have this little button here that we can click on. Let's inspect sales again, and now look at how much simpler it's become. So when we use the accessibility tree view, it's much more readable to a human, which means it's also much more readable to an LLM. So we're passing the accessibility tree into our LLM, and then it's using the natural language that we're asking to then be able to interpret what it will then do in the browser. It's not foolproof at all, as you probably would have seen earlier, but it's a really good way that you can actually interact with the browser and not have to have a whole heap of compute resource. So at the moment, when we've been using that AI LLM, it's just been running directly on my own machine. It's not going out to OpenAI. It's not going out to Grok. It's just all running locally, because one of the big things that we're noticing is even though there are tools that do browser automation already, like Atlas, Comet, for example, a lot of accountants and a lot of bookkeepers are not super happy with having to give up the data or give up the browser to one of those tools. Thanks everyone for watching the video. If it's been helpful for you, in my LinkedIn, if you click on view website, that will take you through to our YouTube channel where there's many more videos like this. We'd really appreciate it if you jump on over there, click the like button on some of the videos, and make sure you subscribe as well. Thanks.